Hey, welcome to the Actor's Career Compass, where we give actionable, bite-sized tips to help you navigate your acting career. I'm your host, Martin Benson, and today we'll be talking about something I call the singular task strategy, which is how to make accomplishing huge projects and huge goals way easier. This is a different podcast episode than most of the ones I do because rather than just answering specific questions or covering really specific or common topics, I decided to do an episode on something that I teach my one-to-one consulting clients when we're working together, but that I normally don't share anywhere else. So the singular task strategy is basically what I use to get tons of important things done in both my business and my life. For instance, I use this strategy to get this podcast going and to keep it going. And I also use this strategy to greatly increase my business's revenue over the past 6 months. So what is it? Well, essentially the singular task strategy is a simple system you can use to make sure you keep moving forward on your most important goals. Here's how it works. Step 1. Figure out what your goal is. Don't let life get in the way and let yourself just blow anywhere the wind takes you. Instead, stop and think about what you really want. Do you want an agent? Do you want to get booked as a series regular in a TV show? What is the single most important year-long goal that you can set? Just take a minute and think about it, really. Now, step 2. Come up with at least 3 to 5 major steps you'd probably need to take to get that goal done. For instance, if your goal is to get an agent, well, you'll probably need to 1. Learn how to get an agent, 2. Look up and research agencies, 3. Make sure that you have professional marketing materials, and 4. Start reaching out or contacting them somehow. Okay? Now, step number 3 of the singular task strategy, now that you have your major steps written down, it's time to break those down into what I call singular tasks. And these are tasks that will be done on a day-by-day basis. Essentially, every day you're going to do one tiny small step that takes you towards completing one of those 3 to 5 major steps you need to take to accomplish your goal. So let's say your first step is to actually learn how to get an agent. So what is a singular tiny step that you can take that will only take between 1 and 5 minutes to do? So maybe you could do a quick Google search on how to get an agent, and you can just bookmark some web pages or email yourself the links. And that's it. Your singular task is done, and you can go do whatever else you want for the rest of the day, knowing that you've taken action towards your major goal that day. Okay? And then step 4 of the singular task strategy is the same thing. So the next day, what is the next logical singular task you can complete? Well, maybe you'll just sit down and read one of those web pages you bookmark, right? And that's it. You're done. So what's most important about this is that every single day, I mean, you don't have to do this on weekends if you don't want to, but if you can, that's even better. The point is you're building a habit of taking action. You're taking tiny little steps, and you should never, ever skip them. Okay? It's much better to take action for 20 seconds than to skip it entirely. And what makes the singular task strategy so powerful is that it basically enables you to build momentum. Every day you're asking yourself, what's the next action I need to take? And then you're spending just a couple minutes doing it. And because you've made a plan at the very beginning in terms of what goal you're focusing on and what the major steps are that you'll have to take, you know that you'll generally stay focused. You won't get lost and confused or not know what's next. You kind of have like a general roadmap that you're following. When most people hear about this strategy, they ask me, well, Martin, how can just spending like 1 minute on something each day actually help me in any meaningful way? Well, my answer is that the key is that you do not stop. I'd rather you spend 10 seconds taking action every day than go for months never doing anything because you feel too overwhelmed about how much effort the one big step or big project will take to complete. These tiny little 1% improvements sort of stack on top of each other, and they create huge, insane results because of how they grow over time. Okay, if you listen to any of the most successful, let's say, life coaches, like for instance, Tony Robbins, or there's a lot of people out there, and they'll talk about the importance of action, and they'll also talk about the importance of consistency in action. And honestly, if you research very successful people, they do the same thing. Most of them only have time in their busy schedules to take tiny actions. I know of people who've written an entire book that became a bestseller, and all they did was spend 5 minutes a day working on it. So they would write maybe half a page. And it works so much better than trying to do huge lumps of work all at once and then not doing anything for a long time. So ask yourself, what do you most want? What are 3 to 5 major steps that you could take to accomplish that? And what's your first singular task to complete? Those are the 3 things. Perhaps today your first singular task is to just spend 5 minutes thinking about what you want. Then maybe tomorrow your next singular task will be, what are those 3 to 5 major steps that I could take? And you just write them down. And then the day after, you take a tiny singular step towards one of those major steps you'd written down. So go out there and do it. Spend a minute or 2 right now doing this, and then walk away feeling accomplished because you know that you've moved yourself forward. Before we wrap today, let me tell you briefly about my career coaching services for actors. I work with actors all over the world via Zoom to help them get unstuck and move their careers forward. I can help you learn what to do to start booking way more work. And if you're interested, visit martinbenson.com, M-A-R-T-I-N, Benson, B-E-N-T-S-E-N. So martinbenson.com to learn all about my coaching programs and sign up. That's pretty much it. Thanks for listening. All I have is one ask of you. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the show so you don't miss future episodes. And if you already are subscribed, please leave a review on iTunes or Spotify. That's seriously the most helpful thing you can possibly do for me as I look to grow this podcast. Again, I'm giving you free information, some of the best stuff that I have. And if you feel any gratitude toward me and want to show it, I would really appreciate you just taking 2 minutes to figure out how to leave a review and doing so. It'll make a real difference. I'm serious. So all you have to do for that is just search the Actor's Career Compass on either platform, either Spotify or iTunes, and you'll find it. And then you just click leave a review and type something in. Reviews help a ton because they really do make these episodes more easily findable for other actors too. Thanks so much, and I will see you soon.